Hello, everyone. We're at the Mistwood Golf Club in Romeoville, Illinois. And why are we in Romeoville on Channel 6? I'm going to tell you why. We're going to do a whole series of companies, corporations, and entities that hire students from Joliet Junior College, Lewis University, and University of St. Francis. We have a variety of shows on our channel. St. Francis does some, in fact, talking to students. And then, as Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story. And that's what we're doing here today. I have a chef with me today who has a story to share with you because she's a graduate of Joliet Junior College. As a matter of fact, if your memory is good, you'll know that Susan Stockwell, who was from the Renaissance Center, Joliet Junior College, downtown Joliet, did an interview with this young lady right here. And I love her last name, and you will too. This is Chef Jenny Noel, and first of all,
pleasure to meet you.
It's great to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me.
What a great place. Now, before we get to Mistwood Golf Club, let's a little bit of background on you. First of all, why did you choose Joliet Junior College?
I've actually been cooking since about 2002, so making this move out here and choosing Joliet Junior College was a very big decision and the best decision of my life. The culinary program refined my skills. The instructors were some of the greatest chefs I've met, and I learned so much. So it's never too late to pursue your dream, get more education, especially with the Joliet Junior College.
Yeah. When you were in class, were they all as young as you, or were they different ages?
I would say the average age was around 20 to 22, 23. Yeah. So I'm a little older than that, but there were actually people who were older than me doing all kinds of things. So.
Well, Jenny, I think that's important because people watching, some people still have they think that students are like 17 or 18 years old going to Joliet Junior College. Fact is, in all the classes, they're older than that.
Yeah.
And so this is a life experience pointed your way, targeted to Joliet Junior College. Are you from this area?
I'm actually not. Most of my family did originate from the south suburbs, but I grew up in Evanston. So I'm
you're a North Sider.
So yeah, and then I lived in the city for about 10 years before I moved out here. So
when you lived in the city for 10 years, did you get involved in all of this cooking business?
Oh yeah, I cooked full time.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I worked for Lockdown and Humboldt Park. It was a fantastic opportunity with them, and a couple other restaurants, cafes. Helped open a chocolate shop on the north side. Let them eat chocolate. Really wonderful small business purveyors.
Yeah, we almost had Lockdown in downtown Joliet, you know.
Oh, I know. I heard.
They were this close.
I know the background of that, but hopefully PJ will get out here. Yeah. That would be fantastic.
Let's talk. What's your experience? You've had experience in Chicago, and obviously the wonderful experience you had at Joliet Junior College. Now you're at Mistwood Golf Club. First of all, this is a brand new club. We'll show on the screen the location. It's for you Joliet folks. I think you just take Gaylord and just go until it dead ends into Renwick, and guess what's right across the street? The Mistwood Golf Club. You can't miss it. And put your GPS on there, and you're going to see something. Right after this interview, we're going to show you some of the holes out here, and it is a phenomenal golf course. They've already won awards and recognition for renovation in several leading golf magazines. So we're going to have some fun with our interviews, but the main reason we're here really is for Jenny Noel. Truly, that's why we're here today. We're going to talk to other people, but you're really the one we want to talk to. So tell me about what's different about this place, and what have you learned?
Well, our kitchen is 95% scratch. So to really be able to develop our dishes by hand is hugely important. We want to give the best quality of ingredients to our guests, and so I feel like that's probably the biggest difference from some of the other places I've worked at out in Will County and even around Chicago. Yeah. It's just that personal touch, how hard we work. Our staff is incredibly well versed and talented, and our dishes I think are really dynamic, and that is they taste wonderful.
Yeah, they certainly do. I just finished with a Cuban, and Sushi Stockwell had the steak sandwich. And then our camera guy, Dick Schuster, I don't know what this thing is called, a Scotch egg. What in the world is a Scotch egg?
We take like a soft par-cooked egg. So it's only cooked for about 7 or 8 minutes. And then we wrap it in sausage, and then we bread it, 3-step bread it, and then we deep fry it. So the idea is that the center stays a little loose, so it's runny, but then you have the breakfast quality of the sausage, and it's crispy and it's fried. We serve it with our house-made pickled onions and some mustard sauce. Yeah. So it's really a lot working with the different flavors, and it's a locally made, really kind of traditional dish that we offer from our Scottish heritage.
With the McWethy's.
Right.
We're at McWethy Tavern right now. We're in one of those little corner. Yeah, the Nook.
We call it the Nook.
The rest of the place is not nookish at all. It's very wide open and wonderful bar area, McWethy's Tavern. We're going to go to the tavern. We're going to go to the pro shop. We'll show you some of the scenes outside. The recommendations, we will have some students watching. We may have, young girls, young boys, grade school age, high school age, thinking, now, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So your advice, your sage advice, because really when you think about the years in Chicago and then in Will County and then also the college background, you're more than tenured, my dear. You're experienced, and I will tell you something. The plating, the creative plating that goes on here, I don't know if we'll be able to show you a photograph or get some what we should have done, instead of eating like little piggies, we should have we should have shown the lunches we had. Your advice to some of these young people watching right now?
I would say definitely if you're younger, get involved, come to the college, start taking your courses and your general education courses, and find out what really makes you you. And if that's culinary, get in with the program. The new building's going to be opening, I believe, in January. So that's going to be fantastic. All state of the art. The chefs are incredible. So I would definitely suggest, getting into the 112 classes for culinary, and then, if baking is your strong suit, take the certification courses, and then get out there and start working. And we look for students, we look for anybody that is willing to learn and put the work in to do what we do, which is very special.
Yeah, and the Joliet Junior College through the years, we've done dinners over the years with Susie Stockwell. These chefs have won national and international recognition, from pastry all the way up into the executive chef positions. So we're going to continue with our interviews. I want to do one last thing here with you.
Okay.
And that is, I always find this interesting. You're a little girl, or you're a girl in high school. Who was the motivation? Who was that person who kind of turned you toward cooking?
Oh, definitely my family. My mom she's brilliant, and she's extremely supportive and has always pushed me to do what makes me me. And then my father and my stepmother, Cindy, are huge foodies. So I actually grew up with my visiting her parents, my stepmother's parents, and they were Italian. God bless their souls. But they taught me how to roll meatballs and make sausage. And so from that 4-year-old age to be in that kitchen, it stuck with me. And it took me a while to figure out that was really what I was meant to do. But together with all of their support, they kind of just pushed me into doing it.
That's great.
So, yeah.
So nice meeting you.
Thank you so much for your time.
We're going to come back and have dinner.
Yes.
Because there's both sides of that kitchen. You've got this side here at McWethy Tavern. Tonight, I know there's a huge event going on with see, this is an interesting place, and we'll talk more about it. But it's open to the public, but it also has membership.
Sure.
So
does.
we'll talk about that a bit more with a few more people. So, Jenny, thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Yeah,
Great
Jenny,
to meet you.
Chef Jenny Noel. Well, we are out in the patio area. I wish we could show you. Well, we will show you more of it. But I have the chef, and we've got events going on today. First of all, thank you very much. Mark Angeles, the chef here at Mistwood. He's a busy guy, so we're going to try to get as many questions in as short a time as we possibly can here. Just a little bit of a background. This fabulous place here, and this is the chef, and I don't know. He's got the McWethy Tavern side, which we've had lunch and it's been delicious. I personally recommend it. And then they've got a special, we always have events going on here, probably 4 out of 5 out of 7 nights. But you have one today. So you're actually doing, you know, the McWethy side and then the banquet side. Before we do that, before we get into that, tell me a bit about yourself.
I've been a chef for 32 years. I was classically trained at Cordon Bleu in London, and I've worked in the city for the entire time. One of the first times that I've ventured out into the suburb area when I worked here at Mistwood. I've run several huge venues down there, including Soldier Field for 7 years, Horseshoe Casino, Shed Aquarium, a few hotels.
So how in the world did they come looking for you, Mark, or did you come looking for them?
It was just a perfect storm. It just happened.
Really?
Yeah, just lucky.
Interesting. Life is interesting, isn't it?
Life is good.
Yeah, life is good. How big a staff do you have on a typical day here at Mistwood in the kitchen?
At any given time, I probably have about 5 cooks and 2 utility people that assist us.
Well, the plating is creative and the dishes are creative and everything is done by scratch, correct?
Correct. We run a scratch kitchen. We're about 95% scratch.
Yeah. And one of the things when we're going to show you we're going to get into a little bit of a corner of that kitchen and just show you some of the activity going on in the kitchen. We'll try not to get in the way. That's why we're out here today. The experience at Mistwood versus Cordon Bleu or Chicago, any differences out here in the suburbs?
No, we're bringing the experience of world cuisine to the people where they live, where they play out here at Mistwood. It's been a great opportunity for us to cook for everybody and let them enjoy some new flavors. Are
you a disciplinarian?
No.
No, I heard that executive chefs are tough guys.
We just have a lot to do.
Do you? Okay. Well, what about the students? Well, we talked to Jenny Noel from Jolie Junior College. When they come to you, is there something special you do? There's a mentoring in there, there's some teaching going on, or are they just ready to fly?
There's constant teaching and mentoring going on, regardless of where they come from or how long they've been in the industry. Students come in as long as they have the right heart for the business and drive and desire to learn, they'll always do well.
Yeah, I can tell they would do well with you. Mark, thank you so very much. Great guy. You need to come on out to Mistwood, Romeoville, Illinois, right here on Renwick Road, and we'll get you can put your GPS on, you can't miss it. You're not commuting from Chicago to here every day, are you?
Not anymore. I was actually going the other way, so this is
good.
good.
Good. All right, we're going to continue, and maybe we'll take a little peek in the kitchen. I have Jimmy Kokless with us. First of all, Jimmy, thank you so much for taking time out. A busy day. Every day seems like a busy, wonderful, fun day at Mistwood Golf Club. It is it's an experience for us to be out here today. I tell you, it's wonderful. And again, I repeat, the reason we're out here today is that we're going to do a series of companies, corporations, and entities who hire our students from Joliet Junior College, University of St. Francis, and Lewis University. We want to find out what happens after school. And we had a wonderful sharing of conversation with Chef Noel, Jenny Noel, and the executive chef. And now we want to talk to the guy whose responsibility is the whole shebang, from the McWethy Tavern to the Pro Shop to all those guys out there on the front and back nine.
Right.
Little bit of a background on yourself, Jimmy. Tell me what's your history in this business.
Sure. I grew up in the hospitality industry, so family-owned restaurants. My mom and dad both Greek immigrants. We just we grew up in the restaurant business.
Of course.
And, went to school for something completely different, and I got pulled right back into it and got really good at it. And
wait a minute. What did you go to school for?
I went to school for computer animation.
Ah.
Yeah, so I did that for a few years, got my degree, couldn't find a job at the moment, and then obviously just fell back on my roots, which is the restaurant business.
But the hospitality, and we'll do that in a minute, and the food and beverage director and the whole shebang here, but I'll bet you that education you have pays off big time in a business like this as well.
It did, absolutely. Yeah. It teaches you to follow through with accomplishments, reaching an end goal.
Sure.
So.
All right, tell us the folks about Mistwood. Tell me everything you know about Mistwood. We'll let you have about 4 minutes to do that.
Sure. Mistwood Golf Club, Been in a golf course since 1998. Went through a huge renovation in 2012. We just completed it with the new clubhouse. We did the golf course, all 18 holes, so a whole new renovation there in 12 and 13. 15, like I said, we built the clubhouse, opened it last November. Houses McWethy's Tavern, which is our Scottish-inspired American-made restaurant, open to the public. And we also have our great hall, which is the banquet facility of the establishment. Houses up to 300 guests, 225 with a dance floor if you're doing a wedding and whatnot. But it's a great space. There's a lot of activity on the property as a whole. You don't have to be a golfer to come here, which is great.
Yeah. I read somewhere, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you mentioned renovation, did you not receive some recognition, some awards nationally with Mistwood about the renovation?
We did. We won all kinds of awards for newest best renovation of the year in Golf Magazine, Golf Digest. So we get recognized across the nation for sure.
I've been seeing doctors lately. They've had those magazines in the waiting room. I said, wait a minute, I know these people. This is great. So responsibility for you, Jimmy, now on a day-to-day operation. What are you doing out here on the day-to-day operation?
My direct role is Director of Food and Beverage. So anything you see inside of our clubhouse, anything on the golf cart, on the beverage cart, in the Performance Center, which is our halfway house, anything that you put in your mouth, food or beverage-wise, directly result of my expertise.
Now, of course, Mom and Dad must be very proud of you.
I hope so.
Yeah, they're very proud of you out here. Is this now you? Behind, and we're not going to show these folks because they're dining privately, but the mix, the demographic right now in the daytime is an older demographic, and because you've surrounded by a lot of senior centers around here, and I can see that they're having lunch here, not as a group, but they've come in individually, foursomes and so forth, and then there's some young families also having lunch here, and so it's, when you say open to the public, it is really centrally located. It's right off of Weber Road, which everybody knows Weber Road, right? And you just take a left turn on Renwick, and you're here. And if you want to take Gaylord, you just take out of Joliet, just take Gaylord, and you bump right into the clubhouse. You can't miss it. Some of the opportunities for folks, when you mentioned the Great Hall and you mentioned weddings, is there a website they can go to, phone numbers they can contact? We'll talk to more people about that, but can you give me some more information?
Absolutely. The website is www.mistwoodgc.com. Phone number for the restaurant is 815-254-7001. And if you want a direct line to Mistwood as a golf club, it is 815-254-3333.
Okay, a couple of quick questions for you now. Most requested drink?
Most requested drink would be probably anything on draft, anything on tap, our beer.
Interesting. Most requested non-alcoholic beverage?
Soda, number one item.
Here I thought it'd be an Arnold Palmer, but I guess not.
No, you'd be shocked. It's soda, unfortunately.
Soda. Well, that's fine. And now here's a tough one, because you haven't been open that long. Most requested bar food, not the entree, but just the bar food, the sandwiches.
Sure, sandwiches. It has to be the Reuben, hands down, one of our top-selling items.
I would have thought it would be the Cuban because I loved it. It was delicious. It was great. But I could see where the Reuben would be in there. The entree, the world of entrees.
Oh, yeah, entrees, pappardelle, no doubt. It's an item that, again, we hand make our pappardelle. Top it off with a little short rib, and it's certainly a great dish. Certainly a great dish.
It sounds like it. Well, this man not only takes care of the food and beverage, he takes care of the sun because it's been cloudy all the way up until this interview. Now we have the sun.
Absolutely.
We thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dan Phillips, thank you, sir. I know you're busy.
Welcome to Mistwood.
We are here, and the welcome mat has been spread out. I'll tell you, it's been a phenomenal experience. And I wanted you to meet a gentleman who's probably been here almost, if not from the beginning, almost from the beginning. How did you hear about Mistwood? Was it in the paper? Was it on Chicagoland radio? Was it maybe on cable? Perhaps you saw something, a billboard? Well, Dan Phillips is the man who made all that happen, right?
That is true. That is true. Yes, I've since I've been here since '98, I've held many titles from Director of Golf and Instruction to now Director of Marketing. But before that, I was in owned my own advertising agency and I produce, direct, write TV commercials, and all of the ads that go out. It's fun. It's just
So
fun.
now this is challenging, but man, it has to be a whole lot more fun than sitting in some office in Chicago writing commercials.
That's true. And seeing from the beginning, I mean, we started with, when I was first here, we had a trailer and a golf course. We built a new clubhouse. We found, as Mr. McWethy took over, found that just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to suit our needs. And he decided to build this unbelievable establishment. And it's just a pleasure. It's something that's, I mean, anyone would love to market this place and would just love to come out here.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, we couldn't do it, and I wish we were able to do it, but take this to be the honest truth. Just before we were shooting this particular segment, a gentleman came in. He had played golf out here today, and he was thanking Dan and the staff here, and he was going to the restaurant, have lunch, waiting for Mr. McWethy to come in and just personally thank him. And that's the kind of experience you have out here at Mistwood. I know we're here to talk to the students and the fact that this great company and this wonderful family, the McWethy family, are hiring Joliet Junior College students, and we will continue with a series of honoring and recognizing companies that are hiring both from Joliet Junior College as well as Lewis University and University of St. Francis. So the marketing starts, and by the way, I lived in Plainfield for most of those years, and I came by here about 1,000 times. I saw the clubhouse, and I said to my wife, Nancy, I said, well, I know, that looks awfully small. And, you know, they were parking on the culvert. They were illegally parking on Redwick Road just to play golf here a few years ago. And then the trailer came up, and we figured, uh-oh, they're up to something. And then the Phoenix takes place, you know, and it is just phenomenal. So how do you put together the marketing plan for a place like this?
Well, it's just knowing a lot about golf. I am a golf professional, PGA professional, knowing that end of the business, but also getting a grasp of the food and beverage industry, the weddings, and we just have a tremendous staff here. Diane Cook does our weddings. She's an amazing salesperson. We have Glenn, a banquet, Jimmy Cokeless, our food and beverage director. So when you have the right people and you put them in the right places, it's just amazing what can happen. And we never thought, I mean, I never thought that it would take off as quickly as it has. But we opened the restaurant in November, and it's just been gangbusters ever since. And I think people are just enjoying having something different here in, you know, in the suburbs. I mean, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of chain things and that, but this is a family-owned restaurant, a family-owned facility, so it has its own flavor. It has its own, it feels like you're part of the family when you come here.
Yeah, you do. You actually do. I was going to ask you this question in terms of the golf course. Some of the magazines, some of the pundits out there are saying, you know, that the golf has sort of hit a plateau. And now looking out, I see everything is happening here at Mistwood. Have you seen a change in, is there a different demographic taking place? You know, you watch on weekends, every weekend there's a different winner on the PGA. It's almost unbelievable, these young kids that are out there. Is this happening a little bit? Do you see some of that in your experience here?
Well, I think society's transitioning in a lot of ways. People, it's really a matter of time. And what happened in golf is that there was players that played 50 rounds and might be playing 25 now. So it's things like that, but the interest in golf, I think, is actually coming back up. I think it's we're finding a lot more people getting lessons, especially here with the club fitting, getting more involved in golf, getting more serious about it, I would say.
Do you see more women getting involved?
We do. We actually do. It is a fantastic sport for women. Fantastic sport for anyone, juniors. But women are enjoying it. I think they're finding the things that the rest of us kind of knew. It's a great place to be outside, be with friends, and have a social situation.
And all ages can play golf.
All ages.
You know, all ages can play golf. Now, you mentioned in that last conversation I picked up, you said something about juniors. Do you have a program for the kids out here as well?
We do. We have our CAP program, which there's two premier junior programs in the state, and we just happen to be one of them. We are continually putting out state champions, high school state champions. We've had collegiate. We've had juniors go on to be professionals. So it's a great program. It's a coaching, training, teaching program, and then we mix that with our custom club fitting, so making sure that the juniors and everyone has the clubs that actually fit them. Nothing off the rack. I mean, something that they could actually use, and a club that wouldn't fight them, that'll actually make them better.
Yeah. There's been so much technology with the golf club, with the golf balls. It's almost every year. It's like the tech world. You know, every 2 minutes there's something new. But same thing with golf in terms of fabrics that the guys are wearing and clothes. You see that on the weekends on Sunday. But looking around, and we're going to give you a better shot of this pro shop. You'll see it here as well. So there's an invite for you, your family. It's a great girls' day out, and if you've got grade school kids, 7th and 8th grade, and kids going into high school, at least inquire. We'll put a number up there for you to inquire more information on starting a junior program. All right, and you, I'm so privileged to meet you.
Absolute pleasure.
And what is your handicap?
Well, I am a PGA professional,
Yeah.
and I have to play to a 0. I'd like to say I'm at a 0 right now, but not enough practice can playing to make that happen.
That means you're working hard, man. That
That's
means
right.
you're working hard. Thanks again. Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Take care. We had lunch at McWethy's Tavern. And let me tell you something. It is a must for you to get over here to McWethy's Tavern at Mistwood Golf Club. It's delicious. The plating is phenomenal. We've talked with the chef. We've talked with food and beverage managers. But I want to talk to the guy who's in charge of McWethy. And this is none other than, this is another guy who that first name is Jim, correct?
Jim Scholas.
Jim Scholas. And I think there's like 3 Jims here, but this is the guy who we want to talk to right now, because he will take, well, his staff's going to take care of you when you come in there and you either ask for an Arnold Palmer, or you might ask for Tito's vodka with a little bit of a slice of lemon there, or maybe a couple
Or a nice scotch.
or a nice scotch,
Single malt
because it is a Scottish bar, you know, and you do have that. Well, let me ask you some questions here, and you kind of got ahead of me here because I'm going to ask you about the scotch. But when you bring people, when someone comes on board, how do they start out, and what do you do for them? Because are you a mentor, you a teacher, you guide these people? Because restaurants can have, and this is a beautiful one, restaurants can be beautiful, the ambiance can be phenomenal, but there's 2 things that people look for in restaurants and bars. More than 2, but at least 2. Food, how good is it, how fast it gets out there, and of course, if you're going to be drinking an adult beverage, how is it? Is it really good? Is it like you thought it would be? And then there's the experience. All of those things kind of wrap up in saying, this is a place I'm going to recommend. So how do you do that? How does that magic happen?
So if you're talking about what type of employees we're looking at,
Yes.
The first thing we do is actually, I look at our mission statement, and from there I want to convey to the type of employee that we want to bring in our values, our culture. And here at McWethy's, our culture is all about having fun, having the customer, the guest, that's what we like to call them, because it's more than having a customer. And we convey that to our servers, our staff, everyone in house, that we want the person coming in, spending their hard-earned money, to actually have a good time and feel like they're part of the family. From our hosts, which are the first line of the greet, and until the guests leave, we're always saying thank you. Thanks for coming. How was everything? That's important to us. And that's what we want to create here, that atmosphere where people feel welcomed. And it goes beyond the food that we have here.
Yeah. So as far as the mentoring is concerned, it goes a little bit further here at Mistwood and with you. You have an extensive training program, and tell us a little bit about that, because that's the purpose of this series. We're taking these students, not just students, but you have other folks coming in here as well. What is the process?
We have a lot of hands-on with every employee. For instance, there's a morning and night shift every day, and what we do is have a staff meeting with each shift, talking about the day's events, talking about things we need to improve on, all that, what kind of experience a guest had, or how we even ask our staff, how can we improve on this thing? They're the ones that are on the floor. They're the ones that are actually interacting and touching these guests. So we as managers really look forward to hearing what our staff says in order for us to come up with a better, experience for the guest in the end. So
I know we're going to talk about food, and we've done a little bit of that, but one of the things that just came to mind here, talk about Sundays, and we invited you out here on Sunday, but Sunday is something special out here.
we have a great Sunday brunch. Every Sunday from 10 to 2, we have a prime rib carving station, smoked salmon, oysters, shrimp, and then I don't know if I mentioned the egg omelet station, but we have everything else in between as well. French toast, a kids corner, so you can bring your family out, enjoy the brunch with kids, grandparents, and we cater to our community in that respect too, where we have more than just a brunch, but we try and have a special spot for the kids. And we have a lot of grandparents that bring out their grandkids,
Sure.
and makes it fun for everybody. Yeah.
All taking place here at Mistwood.
Every Sunday, 10 to 2. So
That's good.
yeah. So
I know that we're going to, I just thought of somebody who I want to talk to just ever so briefly after we talk with you, is that little Swedish girl, Fabiano.
Angela.
Angela, not Swedish. The bar, the whole thing about McWethy is, the thematic there is Scottish, correct?
It's a Scottish theme, Scottish inspired.
Yeah.
Our owner, Jim McWethy, Scottish, Scottish heritage. And you can really witness that in the architecture of the building as well. Not just the food that we have, which I'm sure you've probably talked to other people that have told you about, our Scotch egg, other shepherd's pie, the Scotch that we have that's a specialty in our drink menu, as well as single malt scotches that you can order up neat, any way you want it on the rocks. But if you look around the building here, there's a lot of stone, a lot of wood, just amazing architecture, so you get that whole feel. And then beautiful views with the Scottish Links Golf Course right outside every window we have here.
And I do like Scotch, so I can't do this now, but when I come back here, what should I order?
Macallan's always great. We have a lot of varieties, around 20 different scotches in-house. But what's really popular right now is our beer. 50 in-house, 18 on draft. We have a lot of local beers. Pollyanna's one of them, very fresh beer. I love having guests come up to the bar and talk about the beer and give them a little sample, especially of the local things.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. As the 19th hole, which that would be the McWethy Tavern, would be the 19th hole.
Sure.
It's still a favorite. Beer is still one of the probably #1 requests after you finish your 18. They sit down and have a couple of beers.
Beers, everything from stouts to pale ales to our farmhouse ale, Domaine de Page. It's our McWethy's beer, and two brothers actually helped us create the formula for our personal in-house beer. So
In-house beer, I'm going to do that in Scotch and get Telecab to take me home. Yeah, it's great. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add about the McWethy's? I mean, it's such a fabulous place. You've seen it. Now see it for yourself here at Romeoville at Mistwood Golf Club. Love the bar, love the whole atmosphere, great wait staff. Who is that young man who greeted us at the door today? What's his-
Connor is our host.
Connor.
He's been here since the beginning.
Has he?
So,
What a
he's
delightful guy.
very nice, very friendly, very attentive to what we ask of him. Very helpful, and that's what we expect from everyone, and hopefully all our guests that come in and have the experience to meet our staff, they'll feel the same way about him, just like with everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Plainfield for years, driving by, seeing the renovation, seeing the first clubhouse, which was obviously too small, and then seeing the renovation, and we talked about the awards that the club has received and recognized from Golf Digest and other magazines on the renovation, and for sure they should receive that recognition. Experience yourself, and Sundays, that's you got the family out, or it's just you and her, come on out to on Sundays here at McWethy's.
Come sit out on our patios and see the beautiful view.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say, especially
Yeah.
now in the summer.
Yeah, and a nice breeze coming off the
Number 3 green.
Yeah, the number 3 green is right.
Just right outside. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care. Come on over here a little closer to me here. I'm going to close out the special we've had here at Mistwood Golf Club with the general manager, Dan Bradley. He has taken time out from a busy, busy schedule today. Lots of things happening, although I've been told that every single day is lots of things happening here. But we talked earlier, Dan, just briefly, and I'd kind of like you to dig a little deeper for us and share it with the audience. The McWethy's have not a mandate, but they would like to, they have a mission statement, and they have the whole thing is kind of a McWethy culture here at Mistwood. Can you kind of get a little deeper for us, a little more detail on that?
Our culture is extremely important. And this was something where years ago, before Jim McWethy, our owner, invested into the property, and he made improvements to the golf course, and obviously the new clubhouse and the new facility and the McWethy's Tavern. It was one of those things where we knew that we were launching ourselves into a new tier in the hospitality industry. And this is all of a sudden was going to not just be a place for golfers. This was going to be a place for the community, for the public, for non-golfers to come in to enjoy themselves here. And we knew that before he made this investment, before we started construction, that the company had to have a direction. Right? This is all of a sudden getting much bigger than what Mistwood was for years and years and years. It was fantastic. For years, Mistwood was a place where it was a successful golf course, but I guess our formula was we would hire good people and let them be good, right? There was no structure, there was no strategy, it was just good people and put them in place and let them do their thing. But with the investment that was about to be made, we knew we needed more than that. All of a sudden, Mistwood was going to be bigger than any one person here. So we wanted to give it some structure, we had to. And we sat down as a team, and Jim was involved, right from the top. And we said, what are we? What do we believe in? What do we believe in? This is the hospitality industry. This is entertainment. People come here to enjoy themselves. So, as a result of these meetings, and it took a winter. I mean, it was a long process, and it was carefully worked out and thought out. We settled on there are 3 things that we believe in. We believe in providing high quality products and services. We believe in sharing our excitement with others, and we believe in having fun with people. And it has nothing to do with golf. It has nothing to do with food. It has nothing to, it was a decision that we made, and once again, comes right from the owner, where no matter what we're involved in, that's what we want to do. We want it to be very nice, high quality. We want it to have fun. We want to share our excitement. We want to be excited about it. We want to share that with everybody that comes in here. So the effects that we've seen from and it has crafted every single decision that we've made, from the improvements that were made to the course, to the clubhouse, decisions we make on hiring staff, decisions we make on selecting the menu items. Every single thing that we do has to fall into one of those three things, 3 beliefs.
I will tell you, this is my second time here. My first time was for the open house that you had. But coming down from the very beginning, meeting Connor, and then having lunch, I don't know if I can say this or not, but it's a compliment. It's almost a Disney experience.
That's a compliment anytime
it's
we
a Disney
compare to
experience.
Disney.
Everything is beautiful. Everybody is smiling, and it's not like some people, have a good day, have a great day, that kind of thing. I didn't hear that. But what I did hear, and you can be proud of this, is just here for the last couple hours, is I heard people saying thank you. I heard people saying great experience. I heard people say, my God, is the owner here? I want to thank him. And you must hear that every day.
And we're humbled every day by it.
Yeah.
We don't take anything for granted here. That's the one defining characteristic of our facility and the people, everything. It's just a genuine love for hospitality. We have something very special here. We believe in what we've done, and we want to share it with everybody. So we're humbled when people come and want to dine with us. We're humbled when we have an event and they support it. We're just excited about it.
Now there's 2 types of people I would think would come here. There's the pros, the experienced folks who've been around the block. This is not their last or their first rodeo. But then you have some students who are here. Are they treated a little differently? Is there a different training program, or they just kind of mix in with everyone else?
Yeah, it's a similar training program, but I tell you what we love about the students, and a number of students have, it's a big part of our workforce, because not only in the kitchen, on the culinary side, obviously with the proximity of JJC and what the culinary program is there, it's a perfect fit for what we're doing here, but also on the golf side. Our hourly staff for the summer. I mean, throughout the summer, it's a constant, students coming in and out. But what we love about students in particular is their energy, their enthusiasm, their excitement. We absolutely love it. It's what defines us. It's what we believe in. And it's an easy transition for them to come in and learn. You talk about training programs. I care much less about whether they know where to put the salt and pepper or where to put how to fold the napkin. I care much more about how you're greeted at the door. Connor's a perfect example of this, right? We want to make our guests feel what we feel when we come to work, right? And it's not just guests. Our beliefs extend to anybody that comes onto property. So whether it's an employee, a staff member, we want to feel that excitement coming here. Whether it's a guest, whether it's a vendor, right? We want everybody to have that Mistwood experience. And I think students are the perfect example of this, just because they have this youthful enthusiasm, and it's easy to just point them in a direction and let them share that excitement with others. Yeah.
Last September, October, I was up at a friends of mine I've known for over 40 years, and I've had some back problems, so I haven't been able to play golf, but they have, and we were up in Winnetka. And we're having a few drinks, talking, and one guy said, "Well, we're going to Mistwood next weekend." And I said, "Mistwood? You mean that place in Romeoville that I go by 1,000 times on my way to my house in Plainfield?" I said, "Is that in Plainfield?" I said, "No, it's in Romeoville, but I mean it's just easy to get to." And he said, "I don't care how difficult." He said, "I got GPS. I'll find it wherever it's at." And I never did find out how their experience was, but that's the first time I heard Mistwood. I mean, I've seen it, but no one talked about it. Right. And I can tell today, in terms of the experience, the golf course is loaded today. It's a Thursday, and the restaurant is filled with non-golfers for the most part. There's a couple of guys, somebody's selling somebody something, and there's a salesman talking to the buyer. There's some ladies, there's some girls' day out, and there's some senior citizens in here enjoying it, and a couple of grandparents with their kids, grandchildren are here. It's an everyday experience.
It's an everyday experience, and what we have here appeals to everybody. Because once again, it's not about the golf. It's not even about the food. It's not, those things are necessary, but they're not sufficient for what we're trying to accomplish in the big picture. We want a place where people can come and feel welcome and be excited. Once again, it's hospitality. Yeah. So we want anybody that walks through the door, you don't have to be a golfer. You don't have to be a good golfer, even to play the golf course. We just want people that love golf, right? And to enjoy the restaurant, you don't have to be a golfer at all. This is not a golf course restaurant here, right? It's a very nice restaurant that happens to be at a golf course. Yeah. And that's how we view it. And the community has responded very well. We're very excited about that. Just because of what, when we were building this, it was a conscious decision. We wanted to welcome the community in. We wanted to build something that was for everybody in the immediate area and beyond. And it's so far so good. So far so good. Once again, we're not counting chickens, or it's not even about that. Our goal isn't we're not profit driven or money driven. We believe in three things, and we're committed to those. And we believe that if we can, provide high quality product services, if we can share our excitement, if we can have fun with people that come here, then everything else will follow and take care of itself.
Great. A pleasure meeting you. It's best of luck, and you have your invitation now to get out here to Mistwood Golf Club.